Hello and happy new moon. There's a lot going on around me right now, so if you hear additional noise, just be aware that it's just not a quiet environment at the moment, but we're going to get into this video. I usually tend to go on rants with these kinds of videos, so I went ahead and wrote down exactly what it is I want to say. So if I look over here, I'm just glancing at my notes to keep myself on track for the duration of this video. So let's get into it. We are at a new moon, so happy new moon. Again, we had our new moon start last night at 1 a.m. Pacific time. So that is just, I'm on the West Coast, so Pacific time is just the time that I use, but 1 a.m. Pacific time. And despite what mainstreamers are saying right now, this new moon takes place within the constellation of Libra and not Scorpio. So if you want to know and hear more about what I say may be different from what other astrologers are saying, then feel free to reach out to me and I can send you my video that talks about the discrepancies between these different forms of astrology and which one is the most scientifically accurate. And that's all I will say about that. But with that said, let's get in. So let's talk about this new moon. So what is the new moon? What does that even mean? What does it mean to say this is a new moon? Well, in a practical sense, we're saying that the moon is sharing the same part of the sky as our sun. And so during this part of the lunar cycle, you don't really see the moon. But this isn't an eclipse. This isn't an eclipse. That the light is not being completely blocked. We're just not seeing the moon reflect that light back onto us. So it is a new moon. So what does this mean? So during this time when the moon shares the same part of the sky as the sun, this is the new moon. This is the start of a new cycle, a new lunar cycle. This is the beginning of a month, the beginning of the month cycle. And this is why a lot of astrologers actually joke and say that this should actually be called a moonth. We're celebrating the moonth. This is the start of a moonth cycle, right? This is where the word comes from. They just decided to drop an O and just call it a month. So that is exactly, that is what is going on. So in a practical sense, that is a new moon. But what does a new moon mean spiritually, philosophically? Like, why do we talk about this energetically? And that is because of the frequencies that the moon vibrates and sends our way during its different phases right? So the new moon vibrates at a frequency of a fresh start. The same frequency as a new beginning, a genesis of some sort, right? So this is a time for planting seeds, things of that nature, okay? So you'll hear a lot of astrologers will actually mention that during a new moon, it is the time for you to set intentions. And sometimes they'll say it is also a time for manifesting. Now, the former is true, 100% for sure. A new moon is a time where the universe is aligned and there's all this magic, all this energy, all these vibrational frequencies that are going on to say you get to set an intention on what you want this month to be like. Now, it's not exactly manifesting power. That is not true. Manifesting comes with the waxing crescent, and maybe I'll do a separate video when it comes to the waxing crescent area of the moon, which is usually about like maybe 3 days or so after the new moon. But for all intents and purposes, just the new moon is just for intention setting. And setting an intention for the month is not the same as manifesting. And it is not the same as setting a goal. So I want to preface that as well. So yes, this isn't a time for setting intentions. And this is because the energy of the moon for the new moon is low. It's low, it's soft, it's vulnerable, and it's intimate. And so for those of you any of you, if you know the color work of Jennifer Butler, the psychological color stylist, fashionist, Jennifer Butler Living Color, that is why I am wearing my color of intimacy today, my skin tone. This is the color of intimacy, and it is because of that soft energy of the new moon. So this is what this energy is for being softer, for slowly starting to get the momentum going, slowly starting to get those ideas pumping, those seeds planted, and that is what the new moon is for. That is all it is for. So the movement is slow, okay? So This isn't the time to like hit the ground running. This is a time for brainstorming. So what I would ask of you to do during this time, and what you can do during a new moon, is just to sit down, take a moment to sit down with yourself and be a little introspective, okay? Be a little reflective, because the moon can't reflect for us, so we're going to reflect for ourselves, right? So what do you want to accomplish with this lunar cycle? Now, before you do any of this journaling, before you do any of this prompting and this figuring this out, brainstorming, the best thing that you can do for a new moon, because this is a new beginning, a fresh start, you want to be fresh. You want to feel fresh, rejuvenated, and clean and purified. You need to be pure so that you can open the channel, so that you can listen to your higher consciousness and actually get some of these answers, okay? So before you do anything, you might, if you decide to do this with this video or you decide to do it later, then whatever, but pause the video right now. Well, don't pause it right now, but what you should do, or I shouldn't say should, but what you could do, and what would be highly recommended, is that you pause from this video and you go and you take a shower, you have a shower, okay? And or find a clean space in your house or somewhere in nature where you can get some natural sounds, so that you can actually feel like you're clean, you're pure, you're ready to go. The environment is clean and ready to go. So if you can clean up your house real quick and then shower and then sit down and do this kind of journal meditation, then great. If not, find a clean space or shower. You should bathe for a new moon. Go ahead and do that. Find a clean space within the home, or an area that it feels pure in terms of energy and nature and things like that. And then you get to sit down, get out a piece of paper or a journal and a pen, pencil, and all you're going to do is sit down, center yourself, all of that stuff, and you can come back and kind of do the rest of this video or whatever. So pause, go clean yourself up, come back, get to a place, all right? Okay, so if you've done that, we're going to sit down, we're going to pull out a piece of paper, pull out a journal, and all you're going to do is you're going to take a few deep breaths, get yourself nice and centered. Do this a few times. Don't go at my speed, go at your own speed. But all you're going to do is you're going to take a few breaths, center yourself, allow your body to relax, feel into your body, and then you're going to put your right hand over your heart. The right hand is the giving heart. The left hand, you can hold this up, you can put it down on your lap, but you want your palm face up towards the cosmos, because this is our receiving hand, so we're going to be receiving the energy from the universe. And all you do is you just take a few breaths, you close your eyes, and then I want you to start asking yourself some of these questions on what do you want for yourself in this next month? What is your intention towards this next lunar cycle? Okay? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to get? What do you want to do? What do you want to create for yourself during this next lunar cycle? And what I want you to do is don't try to come up with answers. Don't try to force your brain to think of answers. This is why we kind of went and got clean, and now we're like tuning into our bodies, we're tuning into our intuition, or tuning into our higher consciousness, a higher voice, a spiritual voice, whatever. We're not trying to force anything. Whatever, the first thing that comes up for you, write it down. Don't judge it. No judgment whatsoever. This is for you, okay? Write it down. What comes up, right? So what we're not doing is we're not coming up with a to-do list for this month. That is not what we're doing. We don't want to keep ourselves busy or make ourselves busy, because being busy is not the same as being productive. Okay? And sometimes being busy is a way to not be productive, just to keep yourself so that you can't do the things that you really need to do. But so what do you want to accomplish this month? Write down your intentions. Again, this is not goals. Okay? And I'll give some examples. But ask yourself, what do I want to create this month? What do I want to work on this month? And if you're thinking, okay, Kalond, this is very generic, what am I supposed to be focusing on? What intentions do I set for myself? And this is where the zodiac comes into play. This is what gives us the context, because the universe is always telling us where we should be putting our focus and energy into. And so with this being a new moon in Libra, our intentions are going to be set based upon the themes of Libra, okay? So you can do this in two ways. One, you can pull up your chart if you have it, your true chart. If you don't have it, you can get it from me. You look at your true chart. Which house does Libra, the sign of Libra, rule over, fit over? And now set your intentions on this area of your life with the themes of Libra. And I'll say what they are. Then, or two, what you can do is you can just take the general context of the Libra element, the Libra sign, and set your intention towards these topics, just in just the span of your life in general, okay? So, the new moon in Libra, here as it is. In general, this is asking us to set intentions towards bringing more harmony into our lives, right? Bringing more balance into our lives. And this balance will more likely be related to a partner, and or will be related to how we relate to other people, how we cooperate with other people. In other words, how can you begin anew? How can you start fresh with your romantic endeavors? How can you start fresh with your business relationships? Okay, because Libra deals with relationships, companionship, which is usually romantic, but it can also be business. Or if you don't have a business or business partner, or if you don't have a romantic partner, this could be your relationship with yourself, or this could be your bestie, your best friend. Okay, so how can you begin anew in this relationship? The universe wants you to bring some attention to activating more diplomacy in your life. So take a look at these relationships. And this could also be, again, the relationship you have with yourself. Is this relationship balanced? Is it fair? Is there a tipping point of this scale? Is one side going up more than the other? Is it unbalanced? Okay? Are you self-sacrificing in this relationship? Do you self-sacrifice in order to keep the peace? Do you sacrifice your own happiness for the happiness of that other person, right? Or did you recently take charge in the areas of relationship and partnership, okay? So as you're starting to develop this, as you're starting to ask yourself these questions, just write down what's coming up. Don't think about it. The first thing that comes up, your body knows some of these things. And if something doesn't come up, then move on to another question. What can you ask yourself in relation to relationships, balance, fairness, cooperation, collaboration, business, love, romance, best friends? What comes up with this for you? Self-sacrificing, people-pleasing. What comes up here? What do you want to set an intention on with these topics, with these things for the next 4 weeks? All right? So let's say, we still have eclipse season going on. And so maybe you just ended a relationship, right? In the last month or so. Are there any relationships that do need to end right now? Are there new relationships that you would like to foster genuine connections with during this next lunar cycle? These are the things you want to start thinking about. Are there collaborators that you want to reach out to? That is also something that you can talk about. Because this energy of this new moon, it's all about collaboration. It's all about cooperation. The universe during this time wants us to bring people together. It wants us to get along. It wants you to relate to people. It wants you to strengthen your friendships right now. Okay? Really get in touch with the love that is in your heart for people. Genuine love, genuine interest. We're not talking about curiosity. We're not talking about just being curious to get to know somebody. Like, you genuinely want to connect with this individual, this other person, right? So what I want you to do is start planting some of those seeds of love, those seeds of cooperation, those seeds of collaboration in your mind, because that is what a new moon is for. You're planting the seeds for how the rest of the month is going to go, okay? So you get to start fresh in the realms of love, art, beauty, business. The new moon in Libra, it also likes to bring some slight attention to things like switching up aesthetic, things that are aesthetically pleasing, like our environment, the way we dress ourselves, right? To make us more beautiful, to make our homes more beautiful, our environment more beautiful, more pleasing to be around, more pleasing to be in. So be a little introspective on whether or not you've become a shopaholic in these past few weeks or whatever, or bring awareness to whether you're becoming a shopaholic during Libra season in general or during this next lunar cycle. Now these are just like, this is like a minor complexity that is with this lunar energy, but I just always like to mention that because money always comes up for us in daily lives because we're always trying to, survive and things like that. But anyways, so take that pen and paper, and hopefully you're already doing this, but take that pen and paper, close your eyes, and ask your body these questions, okay? What is my intention for the relationships I have in this month? How can I bring more fairness into my life? Where do I want more harmony? Where do I need to balance? Where do I want to balance myself in my life? What do I want to call to myself this month in terms of collaborators or lovers or business? And again, don't try to force these answers. Don't try to force the thoughts. First thing that comes up, no matter what it is, write it down. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Don't make this complicated. We like to make things challenging for ourselves. This is not challenging. This doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple, okay? This could be as simple as, my intention for this month is to foster more connection with my partner, to feel more connected to my partner, okay? And in terms of a goal, that wouldn't fly, right? In terms of a goal, that wouldn't work because more is not tangible. It's not measurable. But for an intention, it totally works, okay? So another intention, this could be, my intention this month is to call the right collaborators to me. My intention for myself is to stand up for myself a little bit more. My intention is that I'm going to allow unhealthy relationships to unfold and dissolve the way they need to this month, right? My intention is to be more genuine in my outreach. These are some examples that you can use. It's whatever it is that's up to you. That's for you to decide. But what intention do you want to set when it comes to relationships, romance, business, cooperation, collaboration, balance, fairness, relatability, all those things? And don't say, and again, bringing it back to money, because this always comes up. Don't say, my intention is to make more money. My intention is to be financially free. My intention is that, okay, those types of intentions don't work, okay? Because that's not you calling in the possibilities of things. That's you demanding a result. And we're not demanding results. Intention setting is not about results. It's about creating an atmosphere. It's about opening some doors, opening some windows, opening possibilities, planting seeds. We don't know which ones are going to grow yet. So that's what we're doing. So an intention, if you do have an intention like that about spending, about money, about things like that during this Libra new moon, this Libra season, then a way you can shift that is by saying, my intention is to be more mindful of my spending habits this month. That is a way better intention because you have an intention to do that, and it gives you a level of control to do something like that, right? This could also be, my intention is to be open to the possibilities of financial abundance. Now that is a different way to say some of those previous ways, right? Because you're allowing yourself to be open to the possibility that money can come from anywhere. And when you set an intention for that, you're planting that seed in your brain, and then your brain starts to look for it, starts to look for the opportunities, right? And then when you're looking for it, those opportunities are more obvious because that is the focus that you have. That's why we set intentions for this month, okay? So what we can also do is you can say, hopefully that makes sense. What we can also do is to say, my intention is to be more aware of my partner's needs, while also finding alternative actions to take when I feel myself wanting to self-sacrifice my own happiness for theirs. Isn't that powerful? That is a powerful new moon in Libra intention. So hopefully you're starting to get the idea. Hopefully some of this journaling and some of these paper ideas are starting to flow. Again, don't think too much about it. Don't think too hard about it, okay? You're just asking yourself, what do I really want? What intention do I want to set for myself in the realm of relationships, in the realm of how I relate to others and how I respond to others? What is it that you truly want? How can you create it? Okay? So hopefully that sparks something in you for this new moon, and that is what you can do easily for this new moon, is some intention setting, some journaling. I do highly recommend that you get clean first, and maybe even drink some spring water, drink some mineral water, and not anything like municipal tap water. Like, keep yourself clean, keep yourself pure, do this intention for yourself. But before we go, I do want to mention an add-on to this lunar energy, because I know some of you feel it right now, and that's why I want to bring it up, because all these astrologers are going to try to say that this is the reason why we're in this Scorpio season, or that's why this is a new moon in Scorpio, and it's not. And this is what it is. This is what it really is. Our new moon in Libra is sharing the same part of our sky as well with the planet Mars. So if you know anything about Mars, what does this mean? This means that the universe is giving us a little bit of a head start. It wants to give us a little bit of an extra boost, a little boost of intensity, a little boost of fire, a little boost of energy, a little boost of confidence, a little boost of drive, a little boost of assertion, in order to get some momentum going so that we can actually do things with this topic this month, okay? This is where that energy comes from, because back in the day, Mars used to rule over Scorpio and all these kinds of things. So that is what the astrologers may try to talk about, but this is where it's actually coming from. It's not the Scorpio moon, it is a Libra moon mixed in with some of that Mars energy. And Mars is coming in because it wants to balance the energy of the Libra, because Mars is a predominant ruler of Aries, and Aries is the opposite of Libra. Libra is about the we, Aries is about the me. Libra's indecisive, and Aries is decisive and action-oriented, right? But they balance each other out. How do we win together? How do we take action together? How can I initiate leadership within my relationship so that we feel like we're winning together, we're cooperating, we're collaborating, we're compromising, okay? And compromising is not the same as self-sacrificing. I do want to point that out. So this month, with this influence of Mars is activating our drive towards these topics. Again, this is not going to be a passive month. This month is about taking action and being decisive. And this brings, again, some of this balance, right? So Mars is adding a level of assertion and a level of urgency to this new moon. So take initiative, make a decision, be assertive, foster a healthy way of engaging in confrontations with other people. So we're going to blend this intention, these intentions you've been coming up for yourself that are about relationships, about romance, about this Libra, fairness and peace and harmony and beauty and love and all these things. And now you get to add on what you're going to do about it. How you will do these things, how you're going to initiate this, how you're going to create this for yourself. You're not going to wait for someone else to do it. You're going to do it yourself, okay? Libra and Aries, these are both cardinal signs. It means to take initiative. It means to be the one who instigates these scenarios, who creates this environment, okay? So, blending these energies together. Anything you said that you wrote down, maybe you just add you will do it, or you will set an intent, or your intention is you will do these things, okay? You will put the energy towards your relationships this month. Maybe your intention is that you are going to take initiative this month on these Libra topics. This could be you are going to allow yourself the opportunity to find your courage in speaking up in your relationships, or you're setting an intention towards being brave enough to end relationships that no longer serve you, okay? Perhaps my intention is to be more decisive in my business. That is another way you can add and blend these two energies together, okay? So to be the one to initiate, my intention is to initiate outreach with my intention is to initiate true, authentic connection with collaborators that I want to work with, okay? That can be another thing. So This edition of Mars, again, it's not going to let you be passive, and it's not going to allow you to avoid conflict, pain, and confrontation. You get to welcome these things as you start to grow as a person, as you start to be more outspoken about what it is that you truly want in this area of your life. Okay? So this is not a month to wait and see what happens. This is not a go with the flow type of month. This is the month of, this is what I want, and I'm going to try to create it. And that, from that, you see what happens. Okay? So by the end of this lunar cycle, with the addition of this Mars, just this last thing, is that if you're in the same spot that you are now, by the end of the month, then Mars is saying that you are the only person to blame for it. Because you didn't take any action, you didn't initiate anything, and so therefore nothing is actually going to change. And the whole point of being human is growing, is adapting, is trying to continue to go into that next version of ourselves, right? That next thing. What is the next thing that I can do? What is the next thing I can do for myself? How can I grow? What is something I can do for other people? And what gives me that sense of purpose, right? To serve effortlessly. That is kind of what we're doing. The universe has no patience, okay? So during this new moon, the universe is saying, okay, we need this now. We need to get along now. We need to solve our issues now. We need to compromise now. We need to come to an agreement now. And for those of you who have been keeping up with the SAG protests for the Actors and the Writers Guild and things like that in LA, we entered Libra season and suddenly we had our contract. We're coming to a new moon and now we have all these terms because they compromised. And now a lot of the protesting is done, a lot of the arguments done. We've compromised. We've kind of figured out a way to be peaceful. Okay, that is what this is about. But that would have never happened had we not initiated an initial speaking up of saying, this isn't right, I'm not willing to do this anymore. Okay, so the universe wants you to foster genuine relationships right now. It wants you to realize that you have a part in creating the relationships that you want to have right now. Okay, and so that, in a nutshell, is what this new moon is all about. Again, look at where Libra is in your chart to find out which area of your life you might need more balance, where you may need to take initiative to foster more connection. And you can always, again, even reach out to me if you want to talk about this type of energy, if you need help kind of navigating some of this celestial knowledge, this celestial magic, to figure out how this applies to you in your life. And so you can purchase time with me if you feel like you need that support, because that is one of the reasons why I'm here, is to give a little bit of guidance and a little bit of sense of direction for when we're being confused and we feel lost. So for those of you who are just here for just a little bit of support and you don't need a reading, you can also reach out to me and I can give you a free PDF that helps you kind of journal and spark some of these questions for yourself to figure out what to do with this new moon energy. But otherwise, that is about the extent of the help I'm willing to give. So if you need help, you got to be able to speak up, reach out to me. You can email me at kalond.irlanda@yahoo.com, which is just my first name, last name @yahoo.com. Find me on Instagram at Kalond_Irlanda. DM me, reach out to me. Get your true chart, get your PDF. We'll talk about astrology. We'll talk about how this applies to you, and I'll catch you later.